Hi, my name's Rod Roos. I'm the Chief Distiller of Copperhead Road Distillery. A little brief history of how we started. About 8 years ago, I was a bourbon drinker and I really wanted to create the perfect bourbon. In doing so, I learned a lot about alcohol and realised that it's not really that good for you. So I thought, well, I'm not going to give up drinking, I've got to make this better. It just so happened I started in my garage in Bell Road at home, and a friend of mine came back from Iraq with his friends. They had a whiskey night every night. So I popped over the fence one time and said, well, why don't you try my vodka? So they took my sample, and from that point on, that was it. They just started drinking that. They realised that they were having a better day the next day. Also, there was a better, more agreeable taste to them. So we decided not to do the bourbon, just to stick with the vodka. Hence the reason Copperhead Road developed from that point. So this is our distilling room. We're running 4 stills at the moment. This is my first still, Betty Booze. This is the one I started the whole process with. These are replica stills, of course, of Betty Booze. This is Crystal Clear, Daisy Duke and Easy Ethel. The reason they started with the sunglasses, etc., is because I had to insulate that part of the still when I first started. The only thing I had was a scarf, a towel and a set of sunglasses to hold everything together, so that became the tradition of our stills. So this is the tank here, what you'd call our copper ton, even though it's plastic we call it a copper ton. This is where I make the mash. So 2 lots of this mash, which is a fruit-based mash, gets pumped next door into the fermenting chambers. I'll show you that. In here we have our fermenting room. Each of these fermenters holds 750 litres of wash. The wash itself is rocks at about 14.5%, and it actually comes out a bit like a rough Chardonnay. If you wanted to, you could probably drink it as it is. It spends 10 days in this room. As you can see, there's a very fine line between acetate and alcohol. Continually distilling, as is the majority of distillers and distilling companies, generally have trouble separating these two. As you can see, 1.3 degrees is not much. These are boiling points at sea level. We here at Rotorua are 1,000 feet above sea level, so this does change to a degree. But that is how accurate you must get it if you do not want any fractions, these higher fractions coming in to your alcohol. There are so many fractions of alcohol. They begin at the acetone level and they end at the propyl level. When you're drinking alcohol, this part here is what I call the happy bit. That's the ethyl alcohol. That's the piece that you're actually after when you're drinking. Now our stills are able to take just this piece out. So that's basically what we take out of our mix, which rocks at about 14%. This one here is ready to go over now to our tank inside, ready to be distilled. As you can see in this tank, the yeast has finished its job. It is all down at the bottom of the tank, and that's how I know it's ready to go. From this room it gets pumped through back to next door here, and is pumped into this container here, and from this point is gravity fed into the still, so it's a batch brew. We do not continually distill. We take 75 litres, which is this fraction here, gravity fed into the stills. We take out of 75 litres of 14.5% alcohol, we only retain 5 litres of the actual ethyl alcohol. The rest of it goes to waste. That saves putting it through carbon, and it saves any of those congeners I was talking about coming through into our mix. So this is where Pam breaks the 95% vodka down to 42%. It remains in these casks for 10 days before it goes into the bottle, and the label is put on by hand. Everything here is done by hand. I was being told by quite a few people that it was probably the best alcohol I'd tried. So I got a little cocky and decided we'd put it in an international competition and see where we ended up. So I picked the biggest international competition of that year, which was Melbourne in Australia. And we ended up getting a gold medal for the best vodka and a gold medal for the best distillery in New Zealand. And so, we started from there. We went to New York, we got another gold and silver there. So this is our bottle, Copperhead Road. Now, one thing I can tell you, if I don't know anything about brewing vodka, I certainly know how to make labels now. We went to China and back, trying to get a label that fitted to the back of the bottle and came through without having any background showing. These are all our attempts of going to China and back. We found that they'd get one thing right one time, then get it wrong the next time. Get another thing right the next time, then wrong again. So we ended up shopping around New Zealand. And at the end of the day, our crowd in Auckland, Rapid Labels, managed to nail that for us. And by the time we got some labels from them, they were only slightly dearer than going to China and back. So New Zealand made is always going to be the better bet.